stuck to the facts all day in your life. You don't talk about it, would you? I'm trying to give you information you cannot get anywhere in the world. He's making it up. He's arrogant. He's self-serving. He's trying to make money. He's trying to get subs. None of those things. I know everything. Because I'm not arrogant and I don't know everything. I know everything. Because I'm not arrogant and I don't know everything. I know everything.
And my phone bill was due. And it was going to get shut off if I didn't pay it. And so all the mods, all of them got together. They asked AD, he wouldn't help. He wouldn't even help to keep my phone on so I could even be there. And just like those fundraisers that he did, we all took it that he had given it, that he had given that money to the charities. We were suckers, we believed it. And then the people started to come in and say, where's the money? Where's the money? So, we would text him during the show and say, just show the receipts. Just show the receipts and knock it off. Well, he didn't have any receipts.
Stuck to the facts all day in your life. You don't talk about it, would you? He's making it up. He's arrogant. He's self-serving. He's trying to make money. He's trying to get subs. I know everything. Because I'm not arrogant and I don't know everything. I know everything. Because I'm not arrogant and I don't know everything. I know everything.
No.
He says he didn't have them. And so we're all like, you better donate something now, like right now. So it was right then he donated. I think it was $100, but I know he collected way more than $100.
I never even speak to them. I never speak to my moderators. You can ask any of them.
Exactly. That's why you didn't know.
You just write books with them, right?
I don't want to speak to anybody.
You just write
who might
books.
turn on me like this one did.
You would hear him say, Emma, do this, Emma, do that, Emma, do this, all the time on the show. And I mean, she was like a nervous breakdown. He wouldn't leave her alone, like constantly hounding her. So we all told him, you need to pay her. You need to give her a little bit of something. I mean, you've got her a million miles around. Oh, he will. He never gave her a dime.
I never even speak to them. I never speak to my moderators.
You would hear him say, Emma, do this, Emma, do that.
I never even speak to them.
You would hear him say, Emma, do this, Emma, do that.
So, I do have a question for you. He said at one point, and these guys up here probably know better than me, about when, but he had said at one point that you were willing to testify in court.
Yeah.
Never. Not only would I not testify, I would know for a fact that this would not be, this wouldn't even make it past, like, this isn't even like Brady material that someone would need to share with someone. Like, it's not even anything of evidentiary value. Yeah. This is literally Bigfoot footage.
But did you know that he had said that? And not just once, but he said it many times.
I did not know that. So, like, full disclosure, I don't watch them.
Don't blame you.
So I had no clue. That's why, like, that's why I found it so shocking when I got blocked. When my post got removed. Have this conversation ever.
Barry,
yes.
Do you know that he's actually named you in his book and said that you have said with 100% certainty that it's not Chris coming out to the garage?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
Oh man.
He has.
Yeesh.
Yeah. I've read it. He has.
Yeah, I need to take a look at that.
Yeah.
And
look at it.
And like you said, it has no evidentiary value other than, basically just some YouTube stuff. But there are a lot of people who probably will put a lot of credibility into that. And of course, that's why he used you.
Yeah.
I would definitely take a look at that book. I haven't read it. I don't know what it says, but I trust these guys because I know that they've read it.
I couldn't read past the first little bit.
Is there any more?
but these women were such idiots. And Emma would answer, she had control of his email. She could read the email, and these women would send in naked pictures of themselves. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of women. We're not just talking one or two. And thinking, that AD would get it. And sometimes they'd even go through to the tech support email. Some lots. And there was a sub that give him lots and lots and lots of money. We're talking at least $1,500 a month, every month. And he made a new email address, and what it was for was he was getting so much email on his regular email that he made up another one for tech support. And so if people couldn't get into Patreon, they could go to that one, and then Kevin would help them get in. But the funny thing is, I got to tell you this. This person that I know, in my heart, I know it was her that had to have bought him. And we all knew he did, because like we'd say, he's got all these subs, but how come we've only got like 200-300 in here?
Yeah.
So we did question it, but then we got thinking we knew who it was.
DailyMail.com exclusive. The mistress of Colorado killer Chris Watts is apparently back in touch with him 3 years after she last spoke publicly. This was revealed exclusively by David Carter, a friend of Watts and fellow inmate.
She reached out to him and contacted him and said that she needed to talk to him. And they found the letter, and they found out that it came from Nicole Kessinger instead of someone else.
Did he ever talk about Nicole with you in K?
No, I was just told that she might be contacting him. That's all I really know about Nicole. She might be contacting him. That's all I really know about Nicole.
I know he was hoping that she would contact him.
Yeah, so
through
the only
like a
thing.
code or something.
Yeah, so the only thing that I know is that it's very possible that she was writing him under a different name. I don't really have any information other than that. She might be contacting him. That's all I really know about Nicole. I don't really have any information other than that.
See, in the past, it said that it was maybe she had contacted him and it was possible, but now it is that she has, and he knows. It's all lies. He's been saying the opposite to what he's saying now for ages.
Told you what happened that night.
And he said that whenever Shanann came back from her business trip, they got in an argument, and she said that he would never see his kids again, and he flipped out and strangled her, smothered her, and then he did the same thing to his daughters. And he flipped out and strangled her, smothered her, and then he did the same thing to his daughters.
Name?
Yes, Chris Watts. He's the one that killed his wife and daughters. He's the one that killed his wife and daughters in Frederick, and disposed of his daughters in the oil tanks and his wife on his work site. He admitted to me that he was still in contact with her, and she was the one that killed his daughters, and he took the blame for it.
Told you what happened that night.
And he said that whenever Shanann came back from her business trip, they got in an argument, and she said that he would never see his kids again, and he flipped out and strangled her, smothered her, and then he did the same thing to his daughters. And he flipped out and strangled her, smothered her, and then he did the same thing to his daughters.
The detectives are putting words in his mouth to help him. So they weren't alive, were they, when you put them in? No, of course not, no. Why say that? Why not just say, were the girls alive when you put them in?
They're both in there. Is there any reason to think they were alive when they fell in? Okay, you're pretty sure. Okay. Is there any reason to think they were alive when they fell in? Okay, you're pretty sure. Okay.
So they weren't alive, were they, when you put them in? So they weren't alive, were they, when you put them in?
Is there any reason to think they were alive?
So they weren't alive, were they, when you put them in?
Is there any reason to think they were alive?
So they weren't alive, were they, when you put them in?
Is there any reason to think they were alive?
So they weren't alive, were they, when you put them in?
He accidentally says, it comes out of his mouth that, you know, he's making it up as he goes along. It's a Freudian slip, a Freudian Sigmund Freudian slip. And it comes out his mouth and he realises and corrects himself straight away. But, you know, Freudian slips, Sigmund Freud, Freudian slips are there for a reason, because they're subliminal. You can't, you know, you don't know it's going to happen. It's the truth coming out. Take a listen to this.
It gets, I'll tell you what it gets. Less believable what it gets. The first time you hear it, it's like shocking. But when you hear all the stuff that I brought to you, you think, he's making this up. He's making this up. How I go along. He's making this up. He's making this up. How I go along. How I go along. He's making this up. How I go along. He's making this up. How I go along.
Stuck to the facts all day in your life. You know, talk about it, would you? I'm trying to give you information you cannot get anywhere in the world. He's making it up. He's arrogant. He's self-serving. He's trying to make money. He's trying to get sub. Have been reached out to by a member of staff of the Dodge Correctional Institute. In other words, the prison where Chris Watts is in Wisconsin. So everyone's going to say, prove it. Could be anybody. I don't believe it. Somebody's having you on. Someone's trying to con you. Now, you have to take my word that I've checked this person out, and I can't say 100%, 95% sure that this person really does work at the jail. I can't say 100%, 95% sure that this person really does work at the jail. I can't say 100%, 95% sure that this person really does work at the jail.
Really? So you heard it there from the start. You can't even be 100% sure whether the person, if there is a person, works at the jail / prison. Now I just want you to remember that for in the future, but I'll be showing you anyway.
I know all about Chris Watts' life before. I just know. And I know about his life now. And I know what life's like in prison for him. I know how he's getting on with it. I know everything. I can't say 100%, 95% sure that this person really does work at the jail. I know everything. I can't say 100%, 95% sure that this person really does work at the jail. I know everything. More than you can imagine. And it's shocking and surprising. But I don't want to tell you anything until you're just going to go on making it up, aren't you? See, what do I do? So in a minute we'll get to that. I know everything. Is there anybody here that's ever been in that prison? Because they're the people I need to. If I prove things to the people that have been in that prison that only my contact could tell you, then you're going to tell the rest of us that man's telling the truth. So the reason I've come on now and not just gone into it, what I'm going to do tonight, and tell you a lot about it, I want to authenticate it. So I'm looking for someone. I'm looking at the chat from now on. Has anybody ever been in that Wisconsin Dodge Correctional Institute? Has anybody ever spent time in there or visited in there? And that's what I need to speak to. Is there anybody that's been there?
Well, there you go. It's come on a random live to authenticate that, what he's saying is correct. He's come on a random live, and now what all of a sudden he's asking is, does anybody ever been to that prison, to Dodge prison, so he can, you know, tell them some special information that will ring true, so we all know it's true. So I wonder what he can say. You know, it's got to be something big. It can't be something like, you know, prisoners get counted, prison counts, head counts, however many times a day, like the obvious, do you know what I mean? Something silly. So, but to ask, has anybody ever been in that prison on a random live? That, you know, that does that sound right? And he's specifically come on now to authenticate. So how does he know we can do that? Do you get what I'm saying? How does he know he can come on a random live and prove to us? So does he know that somebody's going to be there who's been in that prison? I don't know. We'll have a look. And if he does, it better be something big.
Is there anybody here that's ever been in that prison? Because they're the people I need to. If I prove things to the people that have been in that prison, anybody actually been in there or worked there, or have a relation who's an inmate there that they phoned or visited? Because I want to prove it to you. If I prove it to you, you can tell the others that I'm right.
Now he's asking, has anybody been there or even visited there? So what if you visited someone, you're apparently supposed to know everything enough to authenticate that what he's saying is true. Does that sound right? So if you've ever visited somewhere on a visit, you visit someone on prison, you're supposed to know everything. So I don't know, it's sounding a bit weird already to me.
My cousin, right, Winona Della Rosa. Okay, I'm going to talk to Winona, people, and you watch what Winona replies to what I tell you I know about that prison. Because I've never been to America, that part of America, Wisconsin, never been there. How would I know all these things? I'm going to tell you some facts. Wisconsin prison is more or less 50-50 black and white people, inmates, black or white. 50-50, which is unheard of. The rest of America is 80% black to white. Not Wisconsin. That's the first thing. Wisconsin prison is racist. They put more of the blacks in solitary than they do the whites. It's racist run. It's run by the white police force. I'm only telling you this, not because I want against racism. I'm telling you so I know that I'm inside the place. So you know, Winona, I'm inside the place. That's how they treat it. All the best jobs in Dodge go to the white inmates.
Wow, are you kidding me? This is what you're all basing his evidence on, and his word that a simple Google search shows that there's racism there. I mean, there's story after story after story. I could have carried on. I haven't even looked on YouTube, never mind all the books what have been written and general other sites, Facebook and all, you know. There's endless amounts of reports. So he's trying to say he's giving things what the world doesn't know, what we'd never know. This is unbelievable. So this is the second big thing, which is nothing. Everything, he hasn't said anything so far. So remember this. Let's carry on to this next big thing. I've got to hear the big thing. The big thing's coming up. The big thing, what we'd all know that we couldn't know, because this so far is just ridiculous.
Winona's just confirmed a load of stuff I've just said that I could not invent. I know everything. More than you can imagine. And it's shocking and surprising. But I don't want to tell you anything until you're just going to go on making it up, aren't you? See, what do I do? So in a minute we'll get to that. No, you have to take my word that I've checked this person out, and I can't say 100%, 95% sure that this person really does work at the jail. Wisconsin prison and Colorado have got a deal. They swap prisoners, problem prisoners or whatever. They swap them over between those two counties. They've got a deal between them. How would I know that?
Wow. How would he know that Wisconsin prisons swap prisoners who are in trouble? They get rid of them, they take them from one prison to another prison. Now, that's another thing you can easily search, by the way, but I'm going to just stop you right there. You don't need to. because it's a thing what's done not just in America, not just in England, all over Europe, and there's a word for it. It's called ghosting, because they just come at 3 o'clock in the morning, take the problem prisoner, bam, gone, and you go into another place for 2 weeks, a month, or they rotate you every 28 days. It's called ghosting. It's just something what anybody who have any knowledge of prison or prisoners at anything, or even works there, it's a known fact. That's it. Mark my words, have a look.
Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You're not going to talk about it, would you? Do you trust me now? Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You're not going to talk about it, would you? Do you trust me now? Now I've got a 2 hour audio with this person, and I'm going to bring it to you bit by bit over the next few weeks. I'm not going to tell you all in one go. It's massively long. We want something of fact that you can take away from this one broadcast that nobody knows. Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You're not going to talk about it, would you? But I need to get you to believe me, because at the moment everything I say is hearsay. But from now on, you will listen to my dedicated programs. I don't know what to call it. Just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You're not going to talk about it, would you? I'm trying to give you information you cannot get anywhere in the world. He's making it up. He's arrogant. He's self-serving. He's trying to make money. He's trying to get subs. None of those things. I know everything. Because I'm not arrogant and I don't know everything. I know everything. Because I'm not arrogant and I don't know everything. I know everything. Oh, he's here now talking to me. I'm talking to somebody that's been in the jail. This is great because it's live. I'm talking to somebody that's been in the jail for 10 years. Give me something that only that person would know that's been in there for 10 years, please. Because I've got somebody there that's been in that prison for 10 years. I've got somebody here on my phone that works there. And I'm trying to find a connection that only that person and that person would know. Wow, exciting, eh? I'm waiting for the big question, the $6 million question that proves that this person's in there and you're out there but been in there. I've got to be careful what I say. I mustn't let's give this away. Gee. Okay. BNXY guy. Count times 7:30, 12:30, 16:45. You have to stand up and be counted for. If you don't, you get conduct report. There you go. Absolute BX, we're in your hands. BMX guy, count time 7:30, 12:30, 16:45. You have to stand and make it. If you don't, you get reported. Wow, we wait for the reply. No one would know that. Bingo. That's the most important part of the day, and my person inside picked out the most important part of the day, and BX confirmed it. I am not lying to you.
That was the big finale to prove to everybody that you've got an insider in a maximum security prison, and that inside knowledge was that they do head counts in prisons. This ain't even funny now. This is beyond funny. This is a joke. He's trying to say that the big finale to prove to everyone that he knows about this prison and the workings that it is, to do head counts. And he said, the times he even said as well, 7:30, 12:30 and 16:45. What, that's it? Is he kidding me? Even in the minimum security prison, it's like 4 or 5 times a day. And that's not even saying, like, in between that you're getting counted if you get to work, when you're coming back from work, whenever there's movements, visits, who's going off wings, who's coming back. There's loads of counts throughout the days, but you get, it's probably about 4 or 5 like head counts at certain times regardless, even though you're being counted in between. And he ain't even said that right. This is a joke, and this is what he's basing it all on, that they're doing head count. Didn't I crack a joke at the beginning saying he ain't going to show an head? He ain't going to say something ridiculous. Yeah, he ain't going to say something ridiculous like the count how many prisoners are there. And he has. This is ridiculous now. Right, I'm speechless. What I done was I had a quick look up, and it just so happens that there's an actual manuscript on them prisons, you know, a manuscript on Dodge Prison and all the ones surrounding in Wisconsin, and it goes into, it's like a big thick what they must give the prisoners when they can't come into the prison, so if they have any questions it's for them and throughout the sentence. And it's a big manuscript, and it's cut into 30 pages, and in each page that's split into 6 sections, and it goes on and on and on. Now I read that, so you don't have to. I like to put a bit of effort in, you know, and that's what I do, and I'm doing it for you guys. And it just so happens we get to the count section, and as we can see here, daytime counts will occur at 6:15 AM, 12:15 PM, 5:30 PM and 9 PM. Now this now sounds, well, it is right, obviously this is standard, and I miss before when I said this is what it's like for all prisons. Probably not a minimum, but anything above a minimum security prison, and obviously the standard counts at these times, and this is why they're awake, and then they do it throughout the nights, and when they're sleeping they have to leave their arm out so they can see it's them, and it's not like, you know, just pillows under the bed. Do you get what I mean? But let's read this. So the daytime accounts will occur at 6:15 AM, 7:15 PM, 5:30 PM and 9 PM. So he only gave 3 out of the 4 here, which are just standard ones, and you, like I said before, you're getting counted all throughout the day whenever there's movements and who's going off wings and all that, do you know what I mean? And it says here, it is required that you be on your unit and in your room unless assigned to an out detail, which would require you to be at work or on a visit, which I mentioned. When a count is announced, go directly to your room where you must stand, so see, he's getting half it right, properly clothed and in a clear view of the doorway. If a medical condition impedes you from standing, you must be in an upright sitting position. On units 14, 30, 31, 32 and 33, inmates are required to stand at the foot of their bed facing the officer conducting the counts. Now this is real, this is reality. So it's like, obviously if he had an insider's not going to say just what he said, just three times. Come on now, this is beyond a joke. He's based everything on this, and you'll see in a minute that is even now going to use this as the proof, and this is what he refers to it, but he won't say, oh, remember I told you they get counted in a prison, or there's like more, you know, there's 50-50 black and white people. He won't say that. He go, oh, remember that evidence, so what I want you to do, I want you to back me up now. Remember I showed you all that evidence earlier, and he says all that evidence, and that's how it is from now on. This is pathetic, this is a joke, this is what he based it on, and I'm pretty peed off, to be honest with you. You know, I only swear when I am peed off, and I'm close to doing that, but I won't. I'm not going to let myself drop that low. But just you know, all you guys who are following him, and from the start, this is what it was based off. This was the early days, and there's more to come. There's more to come, because obviously he's gone into more things, and that just goes on in more pathetic ways. But let's get back to basics. This is back to the basics, and it's telling you in a high security prison that there's an head count, and that there's 50-50 prisoners in there. Oh, and there's racism, you know, which obviously that goes without saying for all, and it's everywhere, and you can find this out. I am gobsmacked. I'm going to show you a few more things, but like, this is coming into an end now. I don't do videos every day on this particular person. I know this is like the 5th one on him, only because he had multiple channels and I go into people's channels, but I have gone off sway a bit, and I'll come back to a couple of things that do. But I just want you to be aware of this, and this is all what he says, what he stands for, and this is where it started, and his proof. And as you'll see in oncoming videos and that, like, there's never people to show. It's always like 3-way. And some of them are really comical. They are. You never get to see like the source or like the person who is verifying that source. So basically it's just him and his word, and it's like that for everything. So I'm bringing this to an end now. All you people who was followers of him, you know, you was all there from the right place, you know, you're all in there for the hearts, you know, and that's what it's from. So I know some of you are kicking yourself for following him and all that, and I can see why, to be honest with you, I can. But don't pull yourself down, it's all on the heartstrings. People have to remember, people are picking sides, and you're all coming from the same common place. Remember that. People who are on it one place one time, they're going to be on the other, so they'll be with you next. The ones who are following him now, they're all slipping away slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. So, having said all that, let's just show you a little bit more.
Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You wouldn't talk about it, would you? So from now on, guys, when I say to you, you won something, you lucky people that are now, you 700, you know that Armchair Detective is telling you the truth. I've just proved it live with no fix. Got somebody in the jail, somebody that used to be in the jail, and me in the middle. None of us are lying. Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You wouldn't talk about it, would you? Wow. He's making it up. He's arrogant. He's self-serving. He's trying to make money. He's trying to get subs. Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You wouldn't talk about it, would you? Do you trust me now? Wow. I'm real sorry. All I'm trying to do in this episode is build up trust. So you guys turn up tonight and back me up. Please back me up tonight. Back me up. Please back me up tonight. 9:30 UK time. Back me up. Please back me up tonight. And I was really lucky that my man was actually watching it. That was sheer luck. Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You wouldn't talk about it, would you? Everybody wants the story I've got. Everybody, every newspaper, every TV station. They haven't got it, we have. Armchair Detective, no hiding place. Imagine if you just stuck to the facts all day in your life. You wouldn't talk about it, would you?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. Today we're back with Armchair Detective, and as you've seen at the beginning, you know, he's put the Rosette family through a lot, and a lot of other people, you know, surrounding it, both families alike, I imagine. And it got to a point where, you know, it was thrown in the face every day, reliving the worst day of their life, asking him, please stop. Eventually he said he will, and I'm like, wow, you know, he's pretty new to me. Give credit where credit's due, if that's it, you know. And he called it, the episode, as you're seeing, Stop the Clock. Now, you know, I like to dig deep into Armchair Detective and his contradictions. I haven't fully looked at everything yet, so it's kind of, because I'm trying to, I know half, but I'm trying to give like on the spot reactions as such. So,
hello everyone, thank you for being here. Armchair Detective, no hiding place. Difficult video for me to do. Well, I'm making this video to release a statement on the events of the other night, when I was trying to explain how the caliber dogs work, and Frankie Jr. came into the chat and we lost all control, you know, just what happens. I've always been sincere and respectful of my feelings about Shanann, Bella, Cece and Nicole. They've always been foremost in my mind. You won't find any video where I said a bad word about the Rusek family or any of Shanann's family. Search, the clock has stopped as of now. Out of respect to Frankie, I will do what he asks. The clock is stopped. But if you truly believe there is more involved than Chris Watts, you're not going to be happy, because I'm leaving this case. My clock on this case is stopped as of the other night. I refuse to cover the case anymore, other than my Patreon, my private group. I'm finished with it. I'm going to Patreon, where I can talk amongst friends. We have many people and families reaching to us asking for help, families that want help, families that have never had help and no one's ever taken any notice of them. They're the people we're going to concentrate on, people that want my help. I've just given them a get out of jail free card. Anybody else involved will be celebrating that I'm no longer on the case.
What a egotistic, egocentric, self-centered, arrogant, ignorant, pompous person he is. And if I could think of more things right now, and I probably could, but I'm not going to, just to think, just say if there was more people involved, because he is not on the case, that the persons who would be guilty are happy, that everybody who would have been guilty is happy. Not because of the FBI, not because of the police, not because of all the other departments, because of the Armchair Detective. Is he having a laugh or what? That statement alone has just done me completely. Done. I can't. Moving on.
But free speech is one thing, but going against the wishes of a murdered family's relations is another. That's something I'm not prepared to do. I'll leave that to others. I can move on to many other cases. Like even tonight, I've got a special guest who's written a book on the case.
Once again, Mr. Armchair Detective, in the same conversation, statement, contradicts himself. He said, I can move on to many cases, and that's what we're going to do. And just tonight, we're going to have a guest on about the case. At the end of the sentence that started with, I'm moving on to new cases. This is like salt and sugar, you know, hot and cold, black and white. It just don't go. It totally contradicts. Not only that, I stopped it there so quick as well, because that statement, what contradicts your statement again, was just, I'm calling them an armchair from now on. That was just an armchair statement. But also, I checked out all his channels from when apparently he had given up, which was, you know, well over a year ago now. Look here on the Red channel. Oh, a month ago, talking about the Watts case. Now you can look at his channel and say the month, and plus you'll see all these other videos next to it, so you can see up to date. I took the pictures 5 minutes ago. Let's have a look at the Blue channel. Oh, look at this. Every video again about Chris Watts. What does that leave us with? The Blue channel. And the green, it's completely full, all about Chris Watts again. Chris Watts, Chris Watts, Chris Watts, Chris Watts. It's all about him. So he didn't stick to his word. His word to the Russek, I can't pronounce it, sorry, the Russek family. He hasn't stuck to his word to them. He hasn't stuck to his word to the general public. You know, he's gone back. He may have like stopped uploading for a tiny bit on one or two of the channels, but as soon as he realised the views weren't there, he's straight back on it now and coming up with a vengeance. And please, if you haven't watched it, watch my one on the shadow. When he said he had a shadow, I thought it was going to be something big, and then when I saw that shadow he was on about under the truck, I was waiting for the shadow behind it, who looks like a woman, but it never come. He was on about that shadow, which was just a blur. So I've made videos on it, how the one shadow looking from one side can look like a woman with wings, and then on the other side can be a man as a devil, like the outlines in shade. You know, shades change from whatever angle you're at, whatever kind of length the shadow is, the ground on the floor, every object it bounces off. There's loads what goes into it, including the light, because light has matter, weight, you know, E equals MC squared and all that. So, you know, he hasn't stuck to his word to them. He's done an armchair again, Mr. Contradictory. This is another one now. I'll be looking into, like I said, in the future, more to come. So please stay tuned. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Out there if you can. Plus, PayPal me if you can help me get some of my computer gold. I'm just over halfway there. Thanks again. You always take care. Catch you on the rebound. Bye.